What's up, everybody?
What's up, everybody? Sean here with another Live to Roll. We have a good show for you guys today. We're going to be talking about some fitness, mind, body, and fitness, and some really cool aerial dancing with our awesome guests here. So let's get into some quick introductions from us, and then we can let you guys introduce yourselves. So I'm Sean Fluke. I'm a C5, C6 quadriplegic from a snowboarding accident 21 years ago. Bobby, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I'm Bobby Rohan, C56 as well, 36 years ago from a bicycle accident. And I'm excited for our two guests that I've known for a couple of years. We all work out together. I'm going to go to you, Angie, first, if you want to do your introduction and then hand it off.
Sure. I'm Angelique. I'm a L2, I guess, uh, a paralyzed paraplegic, and but I'm considered a T11, I guess, incomplete. I never know quite how to say it. Teresa,
I'm Teresa
is that all you
I
want
was,
to know right now? Sorry,
what was that?
That's fine
I
for
said,
now.
is
Yeah,
that all I need?
we can get into more of you guys' stories. Yeah, in a second.
Okay.
I'm Teresa Honecker. I was injured 12 years, no, actually coming up on 14 years ago. It'll be 14 years in January, and I'm a T9, was considered complete initially, and since have become a little bit incomplete. I have some movement below that injury level. So.
Good. Yeah. So that's cool. I actually didn't really know you guys before this. That you guys mentioned a little bit before the show how you guys met. You guys really like close in injury. Both were doing the same thing before. Do you guys want to kind of go back over? I know we just kind of talked about it a little bit, but do you guys want to tell that story, kind of how close of injury you guys were, and kind of how you guys met too and connected?
Yeah, 13 years ago, Teresa. It's
Well, it's
13
gonna be
years.
it's gonna be 14. Like for
It's
me,
going to
I'm
be
like this.
14.
I'm like this close to 14. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's coming up. January 12th of 2012, I was at a rehearsal, and what I did, I was a professional dancer, and I had trained in aerial dance since 2002. And aerial dance is like Cirque du Soleil kind of thing, silks and trapeze and all that. And I was at a rehearsal, and I was on an aerial silk, and I was not in something correctly, so I hit the ground. Instead of the silk catching me, I hit the ground on a crash mat 8 inches deep. I hit my upper back, but my legs came down really quickly over my head and sort of snapped my back, dislocated my T9. And I went pretty much, it felt like I was unplugged. I had broken a few ribs, but I never lost consciousness. So I pretty much knew what had just happened to me. And then, yeah, then went into trauma mode. So
So, just real quick, when you say you weren't in it, the correctly, what was
what
wrong or different, or did you know when you got in?
Yeah, I figured it out like afterwards. Back in like when I got hurt in 2012, the internet was active, but it wasn't like super deeply active like it is now. And so, anytime we were learning things new, we were either driving down to Los Angeles because that's where our training was, or we were kind of poking around on different sites that were there. And there was a wrap. And when you see aerial dance, sometimes you'll see smooth dancing movements, and sometimes you'll see these falls that look like falls, but then the equipment stops you. And I was upside down in something that I thought I had wrapped correctly, but when I came down, the silks, which are in two pieces, opened up instead of crossing. And if they would have crossed, they would have caught me, but they opened up instead. And so I just hit the ground. Yeah. So that's what happened.
How about you, Angelique?
I used to do trapeze, and I was in more of a circusy troupe, so less of the dance side and more of the circus. A little bit more acrobatic-y, but if that's a word. But still a little bit, but we tried to make it look pretty. And I was training as well. I didn't have my crash pad underneath me. I was on a gymnastic floor, and I was really just doing some basic warm-ups and some things that I've done a lot. I I and I honestly am not quite sure what happened. I was doing we called it a pullover uh, sit to stand. So you just lift it up, pulled your legs over, and um, and then you put your feet on the bar, and then you kind of curl up so you're standing. You're going from a seated position on the bar, and then you pull up, and but you're in an awkward position before you come all the way up. Well, my your pinky is your like strongest grip whenever you're holding on to something, but my pinky just let go. My whole hand just let go. And I remember just like looking at my hand and just being like, what the fuck? And you know how people say, uh, what, like that your whole life flashes, or like you have this whole, like I felt like I had this whole entire thought. But then when I saw there's a video of me falling, I didn't see the whole fall, but I saw a part of the video, and I'm like, there wasn't enough time to have a thought, but I had a whole thought like that. I thought looking at my hand, and I fell, and the same thing that happened with Teresa. My feet like just that went over my head, and I broke it. You kind of break, I think, at your weakest point, and my weakest point was at my L2, and
Mhm.
or I just where like I landed in my upper back, and then my that's just where I broke.
Exact
So
So
same
there
thing.
is, so there's a
do you get
video of your accident, huh?
yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen it either. I was like, it's something. Yeah, I don't have one of mine, but yeah, Angela, I remember you telling me you had one of yours, and I was like, wow,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know it's
I
in a
think I would watch.
documentary too, so it's like
Oh,
it's
really? Oh, well. I think I would watch it. I'd have to see it once.
you wouldn't
Like,
no
you
you
know,
well
I
you're a
did.
guy, so I don't know what guys are like, but if it's a guy thing,
Well,
I
I think I think for me, because I can't remember my injury. So it was
right.
like I knew I was at the stoplight, the light turned green, and that was the last thing I remember. And then,
Ah,
and then 50 yards ahead, I was paralyzed. So
okay.
that's all And then I woke up in the ambulance and going, hey, whoa, what's going on? And he goes, just stay still. And I go, can you take off my shoes? And he goes, yeah, your shoes are off. And I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
I know I did something bad. So,
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah,
so I think being
I
that
think
I
I
can't remember.
remember, like, I remember the fall, and I didn't like Teresa, I didn't go unconscious, so maybe it is that part where you remember the whole
Mhm.
thing, and that's once is enough.
Yeah.
So I actually do remember my accident, but I would, and I've thought about that. I wish there was somebody that would have been filming. I would probably, at least maybe once. I don't know how it would feel once I watched it, but
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So in some ways you were both in like a kind of performance base. Like how long had you been in your type of field? Was it like a profession you were doing? I don't think it doesn't sound like it was hobby. It sounded like it was more professional base. How long have you been both doing it, and what got you started?
I mean, I had danced my entire life until I graduated high school. I had gone to visual performing arts high school and the whole bit, but when I graduated high school, I didn't. At that time, it's like my parents weren't in the industry, and I lived in the Midwest, and there wasn't any internet, and I had no idea how to proceed forward into the professional dance world. So I was in Minneapolis, and ended up going into cosmetology to do hair because the Aveda Institute was there and it was real high level. So through my 20s, I got married, had a child, did hair. Pretty much that's what I did. And then at 29, at that point, we had moved to Los Angeles, and I was just tired of working out, going to 24-hour fitness kind of places. And I said, you know what? I'm going to find a ballet class somewhere. And I found the safest, with a really old guy teaching and old students and stuff, so that I could like go and see where I was at. Because at 29, in the dance world, that's the end of your career normally. But I went in and I just took that class, came home and got in the shower, and I was like sobbing, like I had left something behind that was part of my life. And so I said, I'm just going to do this for myself. So I started retraining, and I think at 29 too, it was like I treated myself way better. My body, I treated it really well when I retrained. So I started to retrain, and then got better and better, and probably better than I was in the best city you could possibly be in to train for dance in Los Angeles. And then the aerial was something that because I had been a gymnast before, I wanted to add, I wanted to start a dance group that did aerial dance. And there wasn't a lot out but Cirque du Soleil. But I was really watching a lot of Bravo at that time, and they were showing Cirque du Soleil, and it was so beautiful. And there was just something about it that was, I'm going to do this. I'm just going to do this. And so I had a handful of people that were dancers that wanted to join me in it. And that was in 2002. And there weren't a ton of people doing it. There's a lot more now doing it. But I was directing the group, making all the decisions on it. And we were making trips from Northern California down to LA to train, every month basically. And we were doing professional productions, 90-minute, 2-hour productions, getting hired for gigs. And so I was still doing hair like one day a week so I could make a lot of money, because the dance world doesn't pay a lot of money, but it was definitely a passion. And so it was at a professional level, and I continued to direct after I did get hurt. But definitely. In a split second, I couldn't do hair anymore and I couldn't dance anymore. And it was, pretty life-changing. So
yeah, and we'll get into that. How about you, Angie? How did you get into your type of style, trampoline? I remember in 7th grade at my school, for a quarter of a semester, we got to do trampoline, which was amazing, but it also always it was nerve-wracking. It was really nerve-wracking, thinking I could fly off this at any bounce.
I did trapeze, not trampoline.
Trapeze.
I always thought trampoline was nerve-wracking, actually.
Trampoline's pretty intense, yeah.
It's pretty intense, yeah. I know. Even watching it, I'm like, like Olympic trampoline and stuff like that. I was a performer always. I had a theater company in LA, and so we wrote and produced all of our own stuff. And so I've always been, performing, and I just always also been pretty physical, like working out. And at some point I had hurt my shoulder and I had to take a break. I used to box and I hurt my shoulder and I had to take a break from it. And somebody said, "Hey, how about, do you want to try trapeze? And that might like help you heal your shoulder and get stronger." And I was like, trapeze, like, what is this crazy LA shit? Like, there was all kinds of weird stuff happening in LA at that time. It was way before it became popular. There was like the ninja workout and the trapeze workout and
hardcore.
I know. So I was like, I'll try it. And so I started working out with our teachers. They had a little workout thing and we would do that. And then I just got stronger and stronger. And then they would have me sub in and teach for them whenever they needed a sub. And then people just started asking me to perform with them, like little troops. And then I started performing with this troupe, Cirque Berserk, in LA. And so just like little circuses. And then I went to move to Minneapolis, and we started a little circus there called Blue Phoenix Circus Group, and we performed there around. And did workshops and things, and yeah, like did club performances and things like
Mhm.
that. And I always have had to work to support my um, craft, whatever I did, but mostly my craft was supporting itself. And I shouldn't say support myself, but my craft supported itself. And
Mhm.
with aerial, it always supported itself,
Yeah.
which was great. And yeah, it was a pretty big blow when I fell because um, it took me a while to get myself back into performing again. I didn't realize that I missed it. Like I was so busy trying to just heal that I didn't realize that my soul was missing something really important, and it was missing being on the stage again. It was missing attention. I guess I don't
Absolutely, I'm sure it's
Yeah.
know.
having an injury is big change, and it takes a while before you find your placing, and if it's in the same world or not, it just takes a while.
Yeah.
We do have to get through a question from our good friend Ingrid Quad. So I think I probably would think of the answer, but did either one of you get a settlement?
It was my fault 100%. It wasn't the rigging's fault. It wasn't the venue's fault. I was in something improperly. They definitely, where I was rehearsing, they sent lawyers in and asked that same question, but it was my fault. Yeah. And that's something I've had to I still haven't fully forgiven myself because I'm not I learned by doing things as opposed to my brain understanding physics and mathematics a lot. Some people could have looked at that and said, "Oh, you're in that wrong," but I had to, yeah. So no, it was all me. So no settlement.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too. I was in physical therapy for uh I was doing massage too, and my hands were just wrecked. And I was doing physical therapy for medial, no, lateral, whatever the outside extensor. I can't remember. Whatever this one is, I was having physical therapy for it. And so that's why my hand gave way. I'm pretty sure. And I should have known better. And maybe the physical therapist should have known better, but neither of us did. And
Mhm.
it's just what happened.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I think it is a little bit of a private question sometimes of did you get a settlement, or
Mhm.
sometimes insurance just um, of the place where you were performing might have insurance, and they kind of just like, don't sue us, we'll give you something, but
Right.
whatever a settlement is, it doesn't help. Doesn't
Yeah.
change anything.
And
Sometimes it makes it worse.
most of the time, whenever you are performing, you go in and rig, like you go in and do all the rigging and stuff like that. So you tend to have your own insurance.
Yeah.
There's a insurance that you carry, so they tend to be off the hook for most
Yeah. I mean,
things.
all the rigging that was in that space was ours. And even the beams I had installed with an engineer. So nothing failed but me. It wasn't like nothing. But I do know people where rigging has failed and they have sued the company. And
Mhm.
it can happen that way. It's definitely high risk. But so is a lot of other sports in a sense. And
Yeah, I was
things
gonna
can
say it
go wrong.
definitely seems like an extreme sport or qualifies up there because that's what that extreme sport level of you do take that self risk of
I
things
do.
you're doing things are inherently dangerous and could
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it
Yeah.
is an extreme sport, and I think the problem with it becoming so popular online is that people just look at something that you know, we've been doing for years and paid a lot of money to do and work at and make look kind of easy. And they're like, I want to do that. I can do that. And then they throw something up on a tree or they throw something up, in their house. And then it's like, you're just asking for trouble. You're just asking for an injury. I mean, we were both injured, and we were we were trained by some really good people. We actually knew better. We were like, we took a lot of precautions. I mean, I have to say, like, the mistake I made was like a rookie mistake. And the
But the
reason
crash mat didn't save, crash mat did not save me. I mean, if you fall with a whipping your legs over your head, doesn't matter. I mean, I just broke higher because I'm 5'10", and so I have more legs that, that snap me higher. But I think, the mat didn't do a darn thing for me. And you fell on a sprung floor, and
yeah.
those gymnasts fall all the time, on a sprung floor, and, bounce right off of it. So it's just like this injury is weird. I've heard like some guy carrying a plate of pasta to the table for his family tripped over his dog and broke his neck. It's like,
Yeah.
you can just fall wrong. And, so
Yeah, no, I knew a guy who swung a golf club and then spun around and then just landed on on the green, and
Oh my
he was a
gosh.
quad. Yeah. And I mean, just the way he kind of fell and his head snapped back, and just like,
Wow.
to tell him, like, don't say you got yourself hurt golfing. It was, jumping out of the plane to golf, or something like
bigger
that.
than that.
Yeah.
I've
Not
never
just
been a
that.
fan of golfing for that particular reason.
There you
Actually.
go. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's the reason, Angie.
There was some guy at Project Walk that was in a golf cart that was on a hill that rolled down the hill, and
Oh my
he broke his back that way. Yeah. So
Yeah, there's nothing safe really out there, but I mean, I guess.
As Leon said, we all should be wrapped in a bubble.
there you
when we're
go.
younger. I think that in general, we should all just be wrapped in a bubble.
Yeah.
That's a good
I know.
one.
I've heard about people who are like paraplegic, and then somebody told me about a guy who was paralyzed and then went down one of the ramps down in a movie theater, and then hit something, fell out, and then broke his neck, and then became a quadriplegic. And I was like, how does that happen? Like, you just figure just one thing, like it. Oh, you bounced off your bed?
Bounced off
Wow.
my bed, snap. Oh man.
That's
Yeah.
that's enough. I guess I didn't know that was how he got angry quad.
That's angry quad. I'm so sorry. Yeah. That's
No, I've heard a couple folks out there who are paras then quads. Yeah, pretty crazy here. Yeah, it just happens. But so both of you in this kind of mind and body, because I know it takes a lot of strength to do what you were doing with trapeze and aerial stuff. After your injury, tell us about the journey. I mean, the first couple of years what was it like? I mean, we all have our stories, what it was like, but let's hear yours.
with me, there was so much booked. We had classes going, we had retreats booked, we had shows booked. So I'm a Virgo A type, and I didn't stop. But luckily, I was in a relationship at the time with one of the dancers in the group, and we're still great friends. We're not in a relationship, but because of him, we pushed through all of it. And I look back at it, and then on top of that, decided, to do all this extra PT, through Project Walk and SCI Fit. And I was approached by several adapted dance companies, do you want to dance with us? We would really like to have you. And I'm like, my head was just spinning, like with, I was directing a group and running this company still. So it's like a lot just kept going, and I had a lot of students and a lot of community. And so there was a lot of fundraisers, and we're really grateful for all that. But my head it was spinning, and I literally was in the ICU for 2 weeks, and I was in rehab for 4 weeks, and that's it, and I'm out the door and sent home. And then just all of that happened really. And so I made the decision, I don't want to dance in my chair. That's not dance to me. To me, it should be named something different because it's not what dance was to me. Not to say anything negative at all. It just felt so not what dance was to me, and so I chose not to do that. And also I had to make a choice between, it was either that or going to specialized PT. And I wanted to, it's not like I wanted to walk again. I mean, of course I wanted to walk again, but I didn't want to live, I was 46 when I got injured. So I was kind of old in life to get injured with this injury. To start with, I was in the best shape of my life. I was dancing next to 20-year-olds. So and you couldn't really tell, because I was taking really good care of myself. And so I didn't want to lose that. So I did. I spent all that money that had been raised for me on Project Walk, SCI Fit, and I chose to do that for myself instead of continuing to be a performer myself. But I still directed and I still choreographed, and I could teach only advanced students because I could verbally guide them. But aerial is something it's almost like gymnastics. It's very hands-on. You teach somebody how to do a cartwheel, you can't just say, here, you put that hand down. You can't just verbally, you have to kind of show them, and then you help them and you spot them. And that's the same thing I couldn't do. So I just kept moving. So it was a whirlwind for a long time. And then I hit a point where I just I wasn't physical like I was used to being. I was doing 6 hours a day of training and dance. And I was down to, $100 an hour going to SCI Fit. I was going like 5 days a week to start with, but that's like 1 hour a day. And then maybe 3 days a week. And it was just, I needed more. And that's when I got into the CrossFit world. So, and then that's the next chapter, but yeah. I'm going to hand it to Angie before we go there with that. So.
Yeah, which I do want to talk a little bit about that. How about you, Angie? What was it like for you after?
When I was first coming out of rehabilitation, I was in hospital only for 10 days. And then I went into like a rehabilitation unit, and I had to stay there for about 4 months because there wasn't anywhere for me to go. There were no accessible places for me to live in Minneapolis. It took me months to find a place. So they kept finding like physical therapy for me to do. They were like, oh, she needs more physical therapy, and so I just kept doing physical therapy at the rehab.
When you're older, it's like your parents, you can't go home to your parents anymore. Like they're too old to take you home. Yeah. So when you get injured older,
right. I was 44. I mean, my mom and dad were there. I was like, I told my mom and dad, I was like, you can't stay here. Like I have to figure this out on my own. And they were like, well, okay, well, I guess we'll go home. Then I should say hi to Jerry because he said hi, and I will always say, hey, Jerry. Yeah. But I used to teach yoga before my injury, and it's the one thing I really wanted to do after my injury. I knew pretty much right away that I wasn't going to be able to do any aerial, but I felt like yoga was the thing that I was going to be able to figure out. And so I wanted to be able to do it. And the students that I had decided that they didn't want to go to anybody else. They just wanted to stay with me. And I didn't realize I was going to keep teaching. Actually, I thought I was just going to keep doing yoga. And but when I was telling them, I was like, look, I could find teachers that you're going to like. Just at least for you to go to. They were like, no, we're just going to wait for you. So I was like, well, gosh, I better get good at figuring out how to teach. So they would come to I had my own room at the Courage Center, and they would come there on Sundays, and which was our regular day, and I would just teach them, figure it out. I was like, well, okay, now I got to figure out how to tell you how to do yoga while I'm sitting in this chair, and I can't, like, I never modeled anyway, yoga, the poses. I would always do it just by speaking it. but at least if I was stuck, then, if I was stuck, I could be like, it looks like this. But this way I had to just rely on, directing them. And it was really great because they just were wonderful and helped me out a lot. So I did that. And then from there, I found out about integrative dance, which is I did some dancing in a wheelchair. Don't tell Teresa.
I watched her. She looked beautiful, and people do look beautiful.
Very, very sweet. But I did. I needed something. I needed to perform. I didn't realize how badly I really just wanted to be, moving and performing. And I started working with this company called Young Dance, and they were an accessible dance company for kids. And it was just so much fun. They were so wonderful. And from there, I just started working, like doing some dance stuff with other companies and, just like random things here and there. And then we started a group called A Cripples Dance, and we did a couple shows that were really fun. Like, um, this guy Gabriel Roderick. He's a musician, and if you've never heard his music is really great. And so he did all the music. And this woman, Kelsey Peterson, she's an amazing choreographer, and it was and Gabriel's quadriplegic, and so is Kelsey, and so we had a real mix of people who were and then there were some able-bodied dancers as well. So anyway, I mixed it up a lot, and then was also learning how to teach adaptive yoga at the same time. And then as I was going along, I started just teaching adaptive yoga, and
Mhm.
slowly moved away from teaching regular yoga. When I moved to Florida at some point from Minneapolis, and
I don't blame you.
COVID, COVID happened.
Otherwise, not about people or anybody from Minnesota.
Yeah.
One of
I
our
haven't been-
favorite. Yeah, nothing against Minnesota, just accept the cold. That's all.
Yeah. Wonderful people. I lived there at one point, but I moved to LA after that. Yeah.
I do miss it. I have to say, Minneapolis is a great town.
No, I'm
Good.
sure.
There's really nothing like it. It's a
Yeah.
wonderful town.
It's
Our
cool.
friend Leon in the chat is from Minneapolis. He asked, "Did you go to the Courage Center?"
I did. I
Yeah.
went to the Courage Center. I lived there for 4 months, and I did all my PT there, and I love it. I love their pool, their therapy pool.
Oh, that's cool.
I think that's so cool that they kept her safe and in a place where she could, until a place opened that was acceptable to,
You don't hear that, yeah.
literally 4 weeks, get out, and it's like, and luckily I did have somewhere to go, but she didn't, and they listened and they kept you, and you had a great place once they found you on. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't hear that often of, usually the bill isn't being paid. Let's go, get out. I don't know what to tell you. Go get a hotel or something.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So Angry Quad asked earlier too about depression. Did I think sometimes, and I'm sure I'm wrong, but I didn't have depression. I think being young, for me, helped a lot. It's just like, okay, this sucks. F this stuff. This is BS. But I'm too young to just give up. So let's go. And being an athlete, and I'm sure this might be being an athlete might answer the question as it did for me. You adjust. Athletes adjust.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any depression after? Did you go through a form? And if you did, how long?
I wouldn't classify it as depression. The weird thing is that, like, I literally can remember just a month before my accident, like, just reflecting on my life, because I had like been married and divorced, but had a child, and I had succeeded at a really high level in the hair industry and also the dance world. And I was just proud of my life. I hadn't, the one thing I was like, the one thing it would be nice if I could have a relationship that would be lifelong. But other than that, I'm pretty, if I died tomorrow is kind of what I literally said, that if I died tomorrow, I'd be pretty happy with where I'm at. And in a way, that accident was sort of a death of that life, because I had done all of that stuff prior to the injury. And it was moving so fast, and I had so many people that were, dependent on me to keep that company going. And my only child, London, was in college already, so it wasn't like I had to be a mom, or I didn't have any animals, because I knew how busy my dance world was. So it was just, I moved really fast. But the two people were at the rehearsal when I fell. I knew what had happened, and literally I had seen that movie, The $1 Million Baby, the one that won the award. I had seen that year, and with one of my dancers, and we promised each other if that ever happened. You know what I'm saying? And I literally knew I was paralyzed when that fall happened, and it embarrasses me, but it was really my truth. I was like, I can't live like this. I want to die. Like over and over. That's all I kept saying. I want to die. No way. I can't do this. And because I had this full life, that felt like an option to me, but it wasn't from a depressive place either. It was like more just my temperament of like, I want what I want, damn it, kind of thing. And it was, but the weird thing is I am so close to my younger sister and my kid, and all you people that I had met through staying driven. Now, like, it's like I reflect now, like, yeah, maybe that was a death of my life, but I've started this other life that I wouldn't have been even in Northern California. I was moving back to Los Angeles. So, and I live in a really cool artist lofts that's affordable housing. And it's just different. It's like, it definitely is like a whole nother life, but I don't feel like there was a depressive piece to it. There's anger and frustration. I hate the pain that I'm in. If the pain could go away, it would make life a lot easier. But I just take it a day at a time, and I do look at those things that would have never have happened had I not had this accident. So, yeah.
I definitely have had some problems with depression, and not in the beginning. I felt like I was running on like a high, like I was just like, go, 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 make things happen. And then I had this injury happen. I just had this injury happen in physical therapy. Um, they broke my knees, both of my knees. So I had to like pretty much just lay down with my legs like rolled up in bandages on a.
But Angie, tell us
Tell them how that happened,
how it
because that's
happened.
an important piece because
Yeah.
of that unit.
They
Yeah.
didn't just break here, but we need to. I mean,
that's
actually,
I was in a rewalk. I was working on strengthening
See,
my
look at
legs
Sean's
in
face.
a
He's
rewalk.
shocked too.
Yeah. So I was, but I had to stretch out, because you know how like when we're in wheelchairs, you take us out of a wheelchair, we still look like we're in a wheelchair,
It
and
takes
my
a
hip
moment
flexors
for
are
things to
so
flatten
tight.
out. Yeah.
Right. So I needed so much time, and also like living, of course, with chronic pain. It just takes so much time to just like let everything open up. And so I would get there early, and then we would open up, and then I would get into the rewalk. Well, I was late getting there one day, and I was kind of hoping they'd just send me home. It was pouring rain outside. So of course, like my pain was worse. But they said, you know what, we'll just stretch you out in the rewalk. And I was like, okay,
Oh.
I don't know if that sounds good, but I was like, okay. So they put me in, and then they just went, and my legs like looked like they were buckled like in. And I got to tell you, like my whole life, I've had skinny legs. My knees have never touched, not in a million years. And I was like, and they're skinnier now, of course. And I looked down and I was like, that's not right. But and they're like, do you think we should put you down? And I was like, probably. And then, of course, for the rest of the day, I was just in more pain. And
These are
you know
physical
how,
therapists too. This isn't
yeah,
like,
That is wow.
like nerve pain is. You're like, where am I? Why am I in more pain? Is it rain? Is it what?
oh
And
God.
then I got home and my knees wouldn't bend more than 90 degrees. And luckily, my dad is a orthopedic guy, and so I had him on Skype, and I was like, look at my knees. And he's like, go to the emergency room.
Did you hear like a snap or anything?
No.
Hmm.
No, well, the machine itself was made, noise. So
No, that was your knees.
That was yeah.
It's a loud
That,
right,
exoskeleton.
yes. That was
that's
my
wild.
knees
Wow.
Oh
going,
God.
why? Yeah. So
So like
after
that
that,
one should have been a settlement.
I know.
yeah,
There you go. Yeah, that's a settlement right there.
I felt I didn't feel right about. I don't know why I didn't feel right about like suing or anything.
You know,
It's never
suing
been.
it is I've been through a process, and I got, I am one of those blessed people that got a small settlement, but at the end of the day, it was it wasn't almost worth it. It was, you pay a lawyer, you pay all these fees, and then at the end of the day, you don't have much to show for it,
And you're
except
reliving it over and over and over again.
exactly, and the pain and the sorrow, and then one side telling you did everything wrong, and another side telling you, you know, he is the most upstandable person, he would never lie, and it's just like, after a while I was looking at both sides like, I don't know who to believe. And they're
Right.
talking about me, and I know me. I think so. It's not always worth it to sue when everybody um, talked about suing. I'm going to sue you. I always love that when I hear that. I'm going to like, go ahead. Like,
Well,
you
and
were
you do sign stuff when you get into those machines but
Yeah.
still those are physical therapists. But go ahead, Ange, keep going with that story.
Oh, so
on
anyway,
that point. On that point, though, Angie, it's a setback, and I've been through these setbacks before. What is that? I mean, did you feel like you had I've always hated mine. I take it from the same place going, okay, been here, let's go. I mean, how was that setback? I mean, the first time is the hardest.
right. This was hard because like I had a whole routine of like, well, it's nighttime. I get on the floor, I do my stretches, I like have a little yoga I do, I lie down, but I couldn't get on the floor for like 8 weeks, and because I couldn't be on my knees to get back up. There were just things I couldn't do.
Did
And
you bring anybody in to help you, or you stayed independent at home?
I stayed independent at home. And I think that taking that out like that, I just got depressed because I took that active part side out.
Yeah.
And then taking it out, it was hard to put back in again. Like I got really nervous about
Yeah.
myself and my body because I was like, I just got really protective and scared of something else happening to me. And then I kind of stayed a little depressed for a while, because then COVID happened, I think, not too long after that. And then luckily, Teresa, I was like, I think I ended up here. I mean, it was a while because I was like, Teresa, I don't think I'm going to make it. And she's like, you got to do this workout that I do. And it was staying driven. And
Hmm.
luckily, I like the first day I did it, I was like, okay, sign me up. I'm just going to do this every day from now on. And it made so much of a difference in my life. just to
Which,
be doing something.
sorry,
like
Sean, not to be a commercial, but it is, if you
No.
want more information about working out and how the three of us met, it's stayingdrivenlive.com.
I actually
And
have the link in the description.
oh, cool. Thanks.
So, yeah, the links in the description. So, and both of your guys' Instagram links are in the description as well. So if anybody wants to follow you guys.
And Stain Driven's free this month too. It is like a holiday gift for the end of the year. It's like you don't pay anything. You can just jump in and check it out.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, sign up. Link is down in the description below if you guys want to check it out. And it's free, like Teresa just said, all month.
Oh,
No,
month.
but it's not free, it's cheap. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like after that, it's ridiculously cheap, especially if you're used to paying a gym fee. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
And then I
compared
see,
to like a 24-hour fitness. Yeah.
A CrossFit gym is $200 a
And
month.
sorry, John. John doesn't know much about them, and I know so much about these two. And so, not to overtake you, Sean.
No, that's what
But you know, we are getting
back seat on. You're good.
okay. But before, you know, we're getting towards the end, and the last thing I wanted to bring up with Teresa was, and you had mentioned it a little bit earlier about your CrossFit and Wadapalooza, and you know, I'm sure that was just like another. I found my calling in a way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's definitely, I was an athlete when I was in middle school and stuff, always played, organized sports. And so it's like you practice to play a game or you rehearse to do a performance, and doing fitness just to be in shape never made sense in my brain, like ever. And so I was at SCI Fit. Luckily, one of the trainers there, who was my favorite, was an elite competitor in the CrossFit world. And I asked Devin, I was like, is anybody doing adaptive CrossFit? He says, well, the last time I was at Wadapalooza, they did a demo. And he mentioned Steph, Steph the Hammer is what her name was Hammerman at the time. Steph the Hammer and a couple other people were doing a demo of what you do in a chair and it was pretty damn impressive. And so I looked up WheelWad and I was like, okay, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it to compete. And I'm going to compete not at a just, oh, good, that's, look at these paralyzed people doing hard things. I wanted to really compete. I didn't want it to be like, I wanted it to be hard and to be, worthy of that. So I, for about 2 years, trained, and you have to qualify. And Wadapalooza is an international competitive. It's not sanctioned by CrossFit, but it's down in Miami, and it's by somebody who likes the functional fitness world, and he always has. And so he made it a really very upbeat, and so they mixed the adapted athletes with the athletes at all different age categories, and that's the one I wanted to do. And so I 2 years kept training, and then I got myself qualified in as a scaled athlete, which made total sense. And then I said the only way I can make this trip is to take my coach Devin and my friend Joe with me to travel, because I just want to feel like I can do this and not have to think about anything else, like the Ubers getting places or the hotel or anything. And if I had Joe with me, Joe just picks me up and moves me. So it's like if I had Devin and Joe, I got these two fit guys with me, I'm totally fine. And because you're gone for about a week, and because the competition is like 3 days long, and so it was wonderful. I did it in 2019. That's when I met Steph. And then I requalified in 2020 for the 2020 competitions. And then we did the 2020, and it was late that year, like really late February. It's usually in January. And literally 2 or 3 weeks after we got back, COVID hit. And Steph owned a gym at the time and had to close it. And that's kind of how Stain Driven started. So,
and just quick, like a minute long, if you can, for overlay of what is CrossFit for those that might not know. And
it's like, it definitely CrossFit's, a lot of things have happened with the name CrossFit that I'm not super proud of, but I love how it's designed. Functional fitness it's really cool in a way where, like, some people are, my coach, for instance, Devin, amazing athlete. He played college football as a receiver, super fast. super good with it, efficient, but he can't swim worth shit, just sinks, So, but there's certain things like CrossFit is so diverse that it offers everybody an opportunity to find their niche. And so when you compete, it has all these different levels of competition that kind of they'll fatigue a set of muscles and then you have to move on to another set. So you really learn your body, even from sitting in a chair. You really, really learn your body, and definitely 100% stronger core after my spinal cord injury. CrossFit gave me that, definitely. And, and definitely, upper body strength increased a lot, but the core, I was really surprised that started kicking in more. So yeah, it's functional fitness is just, it serves anybody at any age, at any time. And Steph is she went through all the training that teaches her how to program, and she's got cerebral palsy and has been always, with cerebral palsy. And she knows she can coach anybody. She can coach, an elite athlete, and she can coach anybody with whatever impairment they might have. And she does it quite well. And you guys both, these two on here are both coaches as well. And she's passed that on to them. And it's like, anybody can do it. And it's not easy, but it's super fun that it's not easy. And you can always our community really allows people to kind of gently introduce themselves to. There's a couple people that do the workout from bed and in their beds, and that's totally fine and totally wonderful that they're logging on and they're laying in their bed and they're using their arms and they're using their neck or whatever they can use. They're using. And so it allows for all of that.
Yeah, we allow for all levels and function and, for whatever style that works best for you. And then we modify it for them. Yeah.
And these guys are great coaches at doing that. So yeah, I'm really glad, Ange, that you Ange was doing CrossFit before I was, though. I saw her right after her injury in Minneapolis doing they tied a harness on her and she climbed a rope, and I was like, I want to climb a rope again. And I remembered that when I got bored with physical therapy, and I was like, okay, this is the world I'm going to go into next. And it didn't make me sad because I had never done it before. So it didn't bring up I played basketball, I played volleyball, I did a lot of other things and I never did CrossFit. I didn't know anything about it. So it never had an emotional kind of thing like dance did. So it was perfect. And it was hard, really hard. And so that was good for me. I like the gritty stuff. I like being challenged, and it had an end goal. I got to compete. So that was cool.
Yeah. I know. I was like, of course, Teresa takes it, does it, and goes and wins like at Wadapalooza. I was like, I'm just going to do this for a few months.
One last question before we get on with our sponsors, and then can ask you one last thing about advice, which we usually give our guests. But so, Angie, you say you're doing yoga for anybody interested. You want to tell us a little bit about, because we know you do yoga with our company, Staying Driven, and someone else. You want to give a little overlay, and then obviously anybody who wants the yoga can find Angie in the description.
Yeah, I teach yoga with Staying Driven twice a month, and then I also teach yoga with Mind Body Solutions. And that's free for anybody who's experiencing trauma, loss, and disability. And I teach there about 3 times a week, but you can go to their website and then they have classes every day with wonderful teachers. And that's mindbodysolutions.org.
So I think it's org.
Okay, I'll try that.
Org. I should know that. Hold on.
And I've done those yoga classes, and they are wonderful, and there's no cost at all to them, and all of the instructors are great. So
it should be on that sweatshirt, but it's not.
I have on my dog's LA sweatshirt right now.
Yeah. I love Mind Body Solutions, and I also love Staying Driven. I feel like I teach in one more place, but I can't remember it. That's it.
No.
And Bobby, I like your new floor. I just saw.
I know.
The room
Yeah, I
looks
got a couple of comments too. Yeah, thank you. Finally, it's done.
Nice
A few
floor.
more things to put away, but we're almost there. All the crap. And no, I did not get new shelves or anything. I just
You're
had these on
organized
the
now.
inside and I just swapped it and organized it different. That's all. So
It looks great.
thank you.
Yeah, it does. And I'll make sure to get the website for the Mind Body Solutions from you, so I can drop that in the description. So if people do want to check it out and follow and do some of that free yoga.
And I guess Andy, I didn't realize it was free. That is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
100% free. Yeah.
For anybody, for all of us.
Yeah.
I try to tell people. Some people,
They just
I
don't
think, have a
believe
hard.
that. They don't. Some people
I
just
know.
don't believe things can be
I think
free, or
people
even
hear free, they're like, no.
Yeah.
no. Well, even
What's
if you stay
what's the
driven at
catch?
$30, no. Yeah.
Once I get there, you're going to try to get my money. Nope,
Yeah.
you're not.
Nope, not never. We promise.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, you guys, for having us. That was fun.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Thanks a
Well, let us
lot.
do our
Appreciate it.
sponsors. We'll do our sponsors and then ask you a little bit of a going away thought or something you might want to mention.
A last thought, final thought, or something. You guys can
Yeah.
think of it for a second if you want. I'll go ahead and do our sponsors. Thank you to our sponsors, Mobility Professionals and Urology Professionals. Mobility Professionals is a local DME. So if you are in Southern California, anywhere from San Diego to Central California, they can help you get a new wheelchair or standing frame or commode, anything like that. So give them a call if you need any of that medical equipment. And their sister company, Urology Professionals, is nationwide. So if you need catheter supplies anywhere in the country, they can ship them directly to your doorstep. And they're great companies. They support the community. We have many friends now, a couple of friends. I think Anthony, I heard, just got hired over there as well. So now Dean and Anthony both working over there. So a couple of our friends that do help the community a lot, supporting the company, and they support our community. So check them out if you guys need any urological needs or new chair or any other equipment.
Yeah, and make sure, hopefully they take your insurance. They don't take every single insurance, so definitely check in with them. But they'll let you know. But they will also help you find the right company for you if they can't help you because of insurance, but also can recommend you samples, and they can just be a lending ear and help you out.
And real quick too, before you guys do your final thought, let me just throw up Thursday. We got Bobby should be back here with the guys doing the Rolling Over the Hill show as well with Paul, Chad, and Robert. So make sure to check that on Thursday. I don't know if Bobby has a planned topic yet.
Yeah, we're talking about seating systems, your cushion, your butt, sores a little bit. We have some interesting stories. Hopefully we have our guest is able to join us this Thursday, who just got a new ride, the cushion ride, or their mold system. I guess he's got the newest and latest thing. So hopefully we can have him on. So come check that out. If you're wondering about your cushion is probably the most important part. That starts with your wheelchair.
Yeah, no, I know that's definitely important to save your butt. You gotta, your skin is important. All right, so you guys wanna? I don't know if you're both ready or if you want, but if you have any sort of final thought, anything you wanna kind of leave with the audience, anybody that's watching.
I just would like to say, if there's anybody out there who feels like they need really just anybody to lean on, I'm always really open to that. I kind of got involved with a mentor program with Reeves and also NorCal SCI formally, but like informally, like you can Google me. Because of all the performance stuff I did, I will pop up anywhere, and I don't feel like you're stalking me if you want to look through my Facebook and Instagram. I don't care. But I definitely the injury, and I'm, because of the different variances of the age I got injured, the gender that I am, because there's, and my background, if you just feel like maybe you haven't found the right person to ask questions to, you're welcome at all, and to reach out. My phone number is like publicly posted on all those, so you're welcome to text or call me, and I'm here for you. So,
And we got your Instagram on the description, so they can message you through
excellent.
that as well.
Absolutely.
And along those same lines, I'm part of two amazing communities, the Staying Driven community and the Mind Body Solutions community. And I have to say that I get to see my friends almost every day of my life. And if you feel at all like you need to talk to somebody or you feel alone, you're not. And you can just plug yourself in to one of our communities, and you are welcome, and you are always welcome. If it doesn't, I hope when I say that, I really mean it. We love having new people. We love meeting new people, and we are always excited to have somebody new join us. So don't feel like that's not the case. We're not like a clique.
No,
We're not like a niche group.
we get super
Mhm.
excited for new people to come on in. So, and
Yeah.
Ange does have a podcast. Did you? You
Oh
guys know
yeah,
that?
that's right. I have a
She
We
just
didn't
podcast.
started
mention-
one. It's not
Uh,
a video one. It's just a
Just
listenable
yeah.
one.
yeah, you just listen.
Yeah,
It's
just
try
called
to- I
it's
can try to
called
get
Looking
that,
Up From Here.
I'll try
looking
to
up
make
from
sure to
here.
add that into the description as well. I can
Yeah.
put
Right.
it in there for you.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you
Well,
guys for
thank
joining.
you for joining us.
Really appreciate you guys joining, and it was really nice to get to talk to you guys since wasn't very familiar with you guys. So it was nice to get to meet you guys and get to hear some of your stories. And yeah, thank you guys for sharing and all that you are still doing for the community.
You're very welcome. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, you
All
guys.
right.
Thanks everybody
Thanks for
for
having
watching.
us.
And yeah, we appreciate everybody watching. And Live to Roll. We'll see you guys on Thursday.
Take care.